Hello friends, welcome back. Today we are going to be going through the process for drawing realistic Afro hair with colored pencils and why you've probably never seen such tutorial on YouTube. So before making this tutorial, I searched YouTube to see if there are any of such tutorials and found none. I did find about one or two, but they were both on drawing Afro hair with regular pencils and not colored pencils. So let's start with the tutorial, and along the way we'll talk about one or two reasons why this is so. The method is not too different from how to draw any type of hair really. Like we did in our last tutorial, for hair I like to map out the shadows or the darkest areas first. In this instance, the shadows were black, but I don't like going in directly with black because then the whole thing starts looking a little flat. So I went in with the dark amber first to map out these areas. I advise you do the same anytime you find that shadows in areas like the hair appear black. Remember to keep your pencil strokes in a circular or elliptical pattern. This is one of the distinctive features of Afro hair. Throughout the drawing, I'll be using these circular or elliptical patterns. I then went in with the black colored pencil afterwards. This helps to create a lot more depth as opposed to starting directly with just the black pencil. Remember to keep moving in circular patterns, and these patterns should be as random as possible. The next step is to do the base layer, which is the lightest color that appears throughout the entire hair. Now in this drawing, the base layer is actually dark brown, but there were a few areas of light grey. So in order to create more depth and cover more of the grain of the paper, I decided to start by layering a light grey throughout the entire drawing before layering with the dark brown. So in effect, I sort of had two base layers. Here you can see me layering with the dark brown, which is actually our main base layer. The final color in our layering sequence for this drawing is the dark amber. If you want to learn more about layering, don't forget to check out my video on layering with colored pencils after this video. In simple terms, we are just building colors from the lightest tone to the darkest tone. If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tutorials. Also, check out my free ebook, The Basics of Realistic Colored Pencil Art, a very useful tool especially for beginners who want to achieve realistic looking colored pencil drawings. Link will be in the description. Now we're going to do our first blending with the solvent. You can use a paintbrush for this, but I prefer to use the Q-tip because it allows me to easily maintain those circular motions I use during the layering process. After, we wait for about 5 minutes for the solvent to dry out and then go over the drawing with the pencils in the same way as we did before blending. However, this time around, you can leave out the grey pencil because like I said initially, the base layer is actually dark brown. The grey only appears in a few places. Remember to maintain those random circular strokes with the colored pencils. We then do our second round of blending in the same manner as the first. For most drawings, I only do about 2 sessions of blending before going in with the final layer, which deals with the details. But for this particular drawing, I did 3 sessions of blending just to create more depth and cover the white grain of the paper a bit more accurately. Like I always say, you can do as many sessions of blending depending on the type of paper you are using. I used the Strathmore 300 vellum paper for this. I'm on to the final layer now, and this is where we focus on the details and reinforce certain areas of the drawing as well. The details here are those many flyaway hairs. In this drawing, they were mainly brownish in color with a few areas being grayish. So I started with the grey colored pencil, picking out a few of those flyaway hairs. Majority of the detailing was done with the crafting knife. Remember, we layered some grey and dark brown tones before layering the final color, which was dark amber, on top. By using the crafting knives to gently scrape the surface of the paper, we reveal those lighter tones underneath, and this creates the illusion of some very realistic looking flyaway hairs. If I'm to guess, I'll say that most people find drawing Afro hair a bit intimidating, which is probably why you don't see a lot of such tutorials. But of course, there are lots of incredibly gifted colored pencil artists out there who can easily make such drawings. Now, like I said in the beginning, the procedure for drawing Afro hair is not too different from drawing any other type of hair. So I guess tutorials from such gifted artists would assume that you should be able to do such drawings based on the principles used in drawing other types of hair. Remember, the main difference here is to keep maintaining those random circular motions. Also remember to be patient and build up enough layers. After doing the details, I look at the drawing and make a few adjustments here and there until I'm satisfied with what I see. Don't forget to subscribe to see more tips and tutorials. If you enjoyed watching this, I suggest you watch this other video on how to draw realistic hair where I go through the general principles. See you in the next one.